Hello guys, Eddie Gill, RANS Aircraft. Today we are going to tackle the seat side closeout. I'd like to divide this video in three parts. One would be the trimming of the seat side closeout. The other section would be the side closeout retainer bracket and how to properly install it. And the third section would be how to locate that single hole that retains the closeout in position. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay, there is quite a bit of material to remove on this part, and there are no trim lines on it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let you take a look at a finished part. There's no better way to do this than to cut a little bit, fit it to the aircraft, and I'll explain in a minute what we're looking for, what we want to clear here. But by looking at the example that I have in front of me, you'll probably be able to get a pretty good idea of what we're trying to do. There's one dimension that I would like to give you that I believe is critical, and that is how much we leave on this lip in particular. I like to see 1 1/8 of an inch. Now you are given sufficient material. There's probably a good 1.5 inches on this one, 1.5 inches, 1 3/8. But we want to see a trim line of about 1 1/8 of an inch from this surface to the table. One important thing to notice is that that top angle on this top part is definitely not square. It's not 90 degrees, and that is done on purpose. As soon as we take it over to the fuselage, you'll see why. Here you have it in its location in the fuselage, and you can see that those cutouts that I've made are basically to clear weld joints. There's a weld on the back. There's a juncture of a few tubes here. There's one on the front. You can see on the bottom that those 3 tubes that are coming together at the bottom, well, they also need clearance. So let's remove that and talk about the installation of the support angle for it. I have already installed the side closeout retainer here. I have also drilled that hole that comes as a 30 size pilot up to 1/4 inch, which is the final hole size for it. Due to the tolerance, the variances in welded parts, you can see that I have my retainer attached to the back side of those 2 tabs, and I actually have 2 AN 960-10 washers spacing it even further back. The important thing to remember is that if we were to take a straight edge from these tubes, we want the dimension to be from the back side up from the surface of the tubes to the front side of that bracket. We need that to be 0.8 of an inch. Okay, that is going to give us the optimum spacing for that side closeout. So whether you need no washers or 1 washer or 2 or 3 or on the other side of these tabs, whatever you need to do to give us 0.8 of an inch from the surface of the tube to the highest point on that bracket. One quick thing that we'll touch on is how easy it is to put this part in. Once you have that bracket attached, I'm just going to take this part. Watch what part goes down in here. It slips right in front of that bracket. Okay, now I'm doing this one-handed. There it is. It's installed. Okay, that's how easy it goes in. And that's how it comes out. Okay, so now we have our bracket firmly attached at the right distance. We've got that 1/4 inch hole. We've got to be able to install our closeout and locate this hole in the closeout. What we need to have is some kind of hole finder. How you would fabricate this, it could be a couple of pieces of wood glued together at a 90-degree angle. Maybe you can locate some clear plastic that you can bend and it will retain its shape. But basically, this is what I'm doing. This piece in particular already has the 1/4 inch hole located. But imagining that there is no hole there, I position that piece of bent clear plastic, I position it up against that bracket on the seat rails, and with my Sharpie, I will mark exactly where that hole is located. So then I've taken this piece off and I have drilled that hole. So what I'm going to do is you're going to take a scrap bolt, a 1/4 inch bolt, and hold it in position, space it off perhaps 1/8 of an inch, 3/16 of an inch. You could masking tape it in place. I've got a couple of clamps. So I'm going to put a couple of clamps on the seat rail to hold this piece in position. And I'm happy that this is perfectly aligned. This plastic piece is aligned with a hole that I want behind. So now we're going to remove this bolt. We're going to reinstall our closeout. Okay. And now we have a way of locating that hole on our closeout. Remember I mentioned the importance of this flange on the part not being 90 degrees, it's being just a little bit off 90 degrees. Well, part of the reason for that is that this part is designed to fit under the tubes, okay? And to get it tight, we want to push upward on it a little bit. Put a little bit of pressure right before you locate that hole. That way when we have our fastener, that black small little fastener, in place, we'll have to actually push up a little bit to locate the hole, and that upward pressure will keep everything nice and tight. It won't move around. So it's in position. It's where I like it. I'm going to take it. I'm going to push it up just a little bit, and I've located that hole. Okay, let's go drill that hole, and I'll be right back to final install it. We have drilled our 1/4 inch hole. Let's test fit this piece in place. And see how this fits. There we are. That's definitely nice and tight, no play, front or back, and it fits perfectly. I'd like to close off this video with another tip. Although not impossible to do as I've shown, making that hole finder is not the easiest task. There is a way to do this a little bit easier. If you have not attached your side skins or bottom skin yet to your cage, the closeout does not interfere or touch those skins at all. It only interacts with the structure with tubes. So you could fit these pieces up before doing that, and then you would have access from the outside, and you could easily locate that hole right through the bracket and mark that location of that hole on your closeout. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope it helps quite a bit. Stay tuned for more cool videos.